Hutch Johnson.
Hey everybody, it's meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Thanks for joining me. I hope your Sunday is going good, and I hope you stayed off area roads. Now, a couple of things to be factual about this blizzard. We didn't see the blizzard level winds here in the Fargo area or many of our areas. We'll go over all of that. I'll talk about where the winds are. We'll talk about where the conditions are the worst and what to expect the rest of the night, including how much snow to expect from here on out. But I want you to help me by sharing either in the comments section where you are exactly and how much snow you have. So at the end of this update, it doesn't matter to me. I'll be checking all of the comments. I want a ruler. I want it in there. Give me an average. On a deck, downwind from the roof of your house is not the best place to measure snow in a windy event. Why? Because snow blows off the roof depending on what side your deck is on. So keep that in mind. For me, in Moorhead, I went out to the street where there wasn't a lot of drifting and the snow was pretty level. Some has been blown away. There's no two ifs, ands, or buts about it. But there's a solid average of 4 inches on the ground here in South Moorhead. So I want your reports. They help. Without it, I can't guess what you're getting in your home location. So drop a comment. Let me know what you got. Better yet, upload a photo to my new app or hutchesweather.com, and I'll share them at the end of this broadcast. So make sure that you're doing that. We're going to get started right now, but first, a brief message from my sponsors.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, here are the facts. This is what we have going on. Cold air punching into the northwest part of North Dakota right now. Out in eastern Montana, it's no warm picnic either. Single digits across Minnesota and out toward the Twin Cities. Things have really cooled off. Now it's 16 up to the north on 35. And in the Twin Cities, we're right around that 10-degree mark out there. And that's where the snow and impacts really are the greatest at this particular time. Now, again, I mentioned we didn't see some serious winds here in the FM area. So by definition, was this really a blizzard? I would have to say so far, no, but do we want you driving? Absolutely not. The snow amounts are increasing and more is expected. Let's get right to the meat and the potatoes right now. Here's a look at the peak gusts today. Now, we need sustained winds of 35 miles per hour for a blizzard or frequent gusts more than that. And a perusal of the gusts showed that we did get some gusts over 35 miles per hour. Were they frequent? We'd have to analyze the hour-by-hour data on all of this. But here in the valley, many of us seeing wind gusts between 30, 25, and maybe 35 miles per hour, so we're kissing that level. Will the winds increase? We're going to answer that question here in just a moment, but basically, we see some of the stronger winds starting to show their faces in southwest Minnesota, and we talked about this morning. That is where a heavy band of snow set up, and it wreaked havoc across southern Minnesota. Here's what it looks like there now. Check this out. We've got tornadoes on the ground, too. Stick around. There are tornado warnings south of Chicago and Illinois right now. It's unbelievable. Heading to areas north of Indianapolis where a football game was just going on. Let's take a look at what's going on with roads, though. Purple colored highways that you see down here, southwest, south central Minnesota. No travel is advised in any of these areas. We got crazy conditions on area roads out there in southern Minnesota, and the snowplows are just not able to keep up. Heavy snowfall and visibility that's just junk. We do have crashes out there on the I-90 corridor, an eastbound crash between Jackson and Fairmont right now. As we take a look at the conditions out there on the I-90 corridor, let's see, this is, there it is. We can see reduced visibility as you're going across the region there in the south. Now, get down here closer to the 35 corridor, numerous crashes out there, and this is bad. If we have heavy traffic and crashes, then that blocks the road for our first responders, emergency vehicles, as well as the plows. So stay off the roads. This is no travel advised, and that means you can still travel. If it's an emergency, you best be having a survival kit. And you know what? If you get stuck, the plow just might hook the blade up to you and push you right off the road just to get that road back open and clear. So please just stay home if you don't need to. So that's southern Minnesota, where the things are really getting to be quite challenging on area roads. Now, getting a little bit closer to home, what about the I-94 corridor? We can see the pink roads across much of Minnesota right here. Let's go into St. Joseph in this area. Look at the reduced visibility, snow, blowing snow, and gusts up there upwards of 30 miles per hour. Sauk Center and on up towards Fergus Falls. Let's see what's going on. That's called pillow drifting right there, and that's no fun to poof, poof your way through. If you're traveling through I-94 by Fergus Falls, you can expect some area lanes to have encroaching pillow drifts on the side of the road. Now get up closer to Fargo. We do have snowfall here in the FM area, and this is a look at a plow as he's taken on Minnesota Highway 9. Look at the pillow drifts we're getting cleared there. This is going to be an ongoing battle with our persistent wind rocking through the region. Now, some of the heavier snow exiting out toward the area of the Highway 35 corridor, Interstate 35 corridor, I should say. So travel there. Look at this mess. It just looks very foggy and pretty dense with the snowfall. Let's go to a look at the North Dakota roads. As we take a look on the other side of the Red River, no travel advisories issued for I-94 from Fargo straight down to the border. So no travel advised means you shouldn't be out there driving anyways. Now, we don't have those ripping winds that we were expecting in that 50 to 60 mile per hour category right here in eastern parts of North Dakota. But here in parts of southern Minnesota, it's on. It's very nasty out there. So here is a look at what you can expect if you're traveling in and around Fargo. This is not recommended. But north, as we go up into Trail County up here, here's Buxton, and you can see that there's reduced visibility. No travel is advised. And we see plenty of vehicles there, making that travel or trip on the interstate. Here's Interstate, oh my goodness, Castleton. This is Interstate 94 to the east of the Fargo area, and that's what it looks like. Going out a little bit farther, let's go to Valley City, Boom Shaka and Boom Laka. Here we go. We got some serious flakage on the road out there, and there's blowing and drifting snow. Looks like they're doing a good job of keeping the snow and roadway free of the terrible deep snow out there. But you know what? That visibility goes to zero in these open places, and it's icy as well. So just best to stay home if you don't have to travel at all. Down toward the I-29 corridor as you're going south towards the state line, this is what it looks like at the Morton exit. We got some snow on the road. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you this. I've driven through a lot worse than what these are looking like. But in open country, for brief periods of time, you get that zero visibility, and it's white knuckle driving, meaning your knuckles are on the steering wheel and you're holding on, and all you can see is like you're on the starship out there running through space on Star Wars because there's flakes flying on either side. Get out toward the capital city. Let's get in there because you had the snow very, very early this morning, and we still have snow and wind out there, and you can see on the road surface, or you could see on the road surface, that things were a little bit icy. And let's go right into the middle part of downtown. How about the state capitol view? Now, of course, this is going to be obscured by clouds because guess what? It's on the roof of the Capitol building out there in Bismarck, North Dakota. So it's a difficult visibility out there in the central part of the state. Going up to Minot, what are you seeing, Minot? Well, a little bit of a reduction in the snowfall, and the visibility starting to improve up there to the north. That's what's going on there. Now let's check out your hometown South Dakota road map look, and let's go right to that real quickly. Here's what's going on in South Dakota, the eastern third of the state impacted by wind and some snow, but not a terrible bunch of snow in this particular area. So that's good news. And as far as travel advisory goes, we don't have them. So that's good. Hey, thanks, Terry. Thanks, Kay. Good to see you on board, Mary Ellen. I appreciate you. It's blowing quite nicely here. And the good Lord said that I don't have to be outside and driving this, so stay home. And I hope you all can do that because, I was talking to a good friend of mine stuck in the cities, and you know what? It's best to just wait it out. That's the right thing to do. Let's get back to the radar here real quickly. And if you do have a question about a particular area, I'll be answering those in a second. One of the questions I know is right in the front of everybody's mind. Is there going to be more snow? Well, let's show you the radar now, and then we'll get to my forecast. So this is what is going on right now across the region as we dump into a look at the radar. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I want to go to this one here. So here we go. The radar is showing a band of pretty good snowfall in and around Fargo, wrapping the northwest side of town and the east side of town, northeast, southwest. So we do have some snow skirting the area. Look where there's a hole, a big donut hole in this system. Roseau County, you didn't get much in the way of the snowfall there. Northern Beltrami County down to southern Beltrami County and Bemidji. Did you get any snow? Light flurries all day, says Clarine. Thank you for that timely report, even before I asked for it. Is that ESPN? I think we got ESPN there, Clarine. Thank you very much. Peggy Williamson, Valley City, still snowing and blowing. Look at this. There's this narrow band of snow right into Barnes County. You go down here to Nome. You go down here as you get into that Lisbon area, all the way down towards, Wyndmere. We're seeing that band of heavier snow there. Bismarck, we got this light snow. That's the white stuff. That is not satellite. That's snow. So we do have snow continuing in and around Morton County, Burley County, and points north on towards Sheridan County as well. So there is some snow going there. It's fairly light. It'll be interesting to start hearing these snowfall reports coming in. I did see a report from the National Weather Service in Grand Forks much earlier today. I think about the 8 to 9 o'clock hour, somewhere around the 2 to 3 inch range, and still snowing there, but not as heavy. So the heavier band focusing on us. So you can see this looks a lot like the forecast did, just not as windy. Now there's a heavy band of snow that's working its way from Duluth all the way into northern parts of Wisconsin, stretching back toward the cities. So some in the cities, the snowfall could be wrapping up just a little bit at this particular time, but you do have this band that's set up from Wilmer straight down into Mankato. And look at that, Rochester. You kind of seeing it split right over the top of you. So blizzard warning does continue, but we just have to say when we're looking at wind speeds out here, for it to be technically a blizzard, visibility has to be reduced to a quarter mile. We do have that. We do have some areas of heavy snow. We do have that. But the wind speeds just didn't quite produce what we thought. But it's terrible driving conditions. No travel advised. Most of south central and southwest Minnesota. And that is the headline. So how much more snow can you expect? Now, in this area, that's circled here, we have heavy bands of snow drifting into northern Wisconsin right now. And the UP of Michigan, you can expect a wild cowboy ride out there. We do have some gusty winds that are going to be persistent. And as I showed you earlier in the forecast this morning and last night, the gusty winds were expected to increase as we go from evening, even into the overnight hours across all of Minnesota. And that means that's no fun. Robert says there are 87 counties in Minnesota. However, how many counties in North Dakota and South Dakota all have a county road 7? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I do know the answer to this. This band of snow is going to oscillate around here. We'll see snow ending from north to south like the model showed. So let's go right to your forecast. I'm going to get you right out to the beef, the meat, the potatoes. Roads are going to look like this. When the sun sets, it gets even harder to see. So open country, it's no fun. Here's Hutch's additional snowfall forecast. From now, this Sunday. Hold on to the edge of your seat. Or no, we'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. Because here's the answer you're looking for. No more snow up in north central North Dakota other than those flurries that you've been getting. That's it. Thanks so very much for sharing stars. Thanks for also supporting me on my YouTube channel. Slam that subscribe button for me right now if you've not done so. And don't forget to click the little dingle bell at the top. Ding, ding, ding. So you get notifications of when Hutch is going live. Hi, this is Todd in East Grand Forks. Lots of blowing snow right now. Can't tell if any new snow is still falling. That's how it gets. It does look like the radar's showing some, but sometimes that's hard to tell if it's lofted snow or not. 1 to 2 inches additional snow possible for Fargo, but plus is here. That's because the model is saying somewhere upwards of 3 inches of snow will be possible. We've gotten 4 for the majority of the day. So 1 to 3 seems to be 3 on the high side. I'm going to stick with the maybe 1 inch to 2 inches for most of our area here in the southern Red River Valley and Lakes Country. As you get into Clay County, into parts of western Becker County, Grant County, western Otter Tail County, for you folks in Pelican Rapids, tell Petey it's going to need the snowblower here for that area just a little bit. Now, that band will continue along the I-94 corridor to produce another 1 to 2 inches of snow till you get into the cities and points north where that heavy band we just showed you. 2 to 4 inches. A few areas will get a little bit more than that, particularly as we sneak toward the Wisconsin border. And then I'm going to move over here so you folks in Wisconsin can see the truth. And the truth is the heavy bands of snow are setting up. 4 additional inches on the low side. That means 4 inches is likely in these areas of pink. Many will see 5 inches, and a few will see 7 or more inches of snow. And actually, because it will be snowing for the better part of the overnight hours into your Monday morning for the UP, some of you folks could see close to an additional 1 foot of snow. Good day, Lisa, baking some cookies. Thank you so much. Jordan Waltz, thank you very much for your kind support. Thank you very, very much. All of you, I appreciate that. And I've noticed that I've gotten some brand new orders on Hutch's gear from the app and from the website. There's the shop there. Thank you. That really does help Hutch, and you get some cool swag to boot. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you have an idea, let me know about those too. Oh, thank you for loving the app, Susan. It's good to have you on board. Now we're going to go to the hour-by-hour forecast because this interactive session of Hutch's weather allows you to ask those questions. So we have snow on the radar right now from Bismarck on into the eastern third of North Dakota. We might see another inch or 2 in the Grand Forks area and the Fargo area. We might see another inch or 2 right along the Interstate 94 corridor until you get to areas north of the city, and then it's on. on. No travel advisories south central and southwest parts of Minnesota. And we do have no travel advisories in the southeast quadrant of North Dakota. It includes Fargo, Moorhead. Stay off the roads if you don't need to go. Brian Sahlberg, have to travel to Gackel tomorrow morning. The wind will be still blowing at 7 a.m. Will it? Let's go right to your hour-by-hour forecast. We're going to go to the latest forecast model together. We're going to pick one together and show you the inside baseball on meteorology. Now, any forecast that you see on any app, I don't care whose it is, even Hutch's, locks into one model, and it only shows you one model every time. We can't use the same model for every storm, but on the app, it gives you a tool to see. Now, when you watch the videos I put up on the app, then you get my input. And this is what and why having a local meteorologist give you their 2 cents on things can really add some value. At least that's my hope. So I hope we're adding value here for you. Now, as we hover over our area, this is the very latest model in from the high resolution rapid refresh, otherwise known as the HRRR model. Now, notice the band of snow that's over us now continues in the area for a little bit. The isobars do get pretty close here on the Minnesota side of the river, but they stay farther apart on the North Dakota side of the river, meaning we'll have breezy conditions continuing. We'll see some gusts upwards of 30 to 35 miles per hour. And the snow bands continue until 7, 8 o'clock at night from Fargo and point south. And then it continues to exit southward, rolling into Sisseton, rolling into you folks in Watertown, where you're going to get a dose of snow. Look at these isobars here now, though, folks. This is critical. We have a ceasing of the snowfall, but the wind looks like it's going to pick up tonight as we approach the 7 to 10 o'clock. If you're waiting out this storm, you're looking out the window, no, it's still snowing. Nah, it's still blowing a little bit. I don't want to go. And then you jump in the jalopy tonight, or if you are walking the ostrich tonight, you just got to hold on to that leash because the wind is going to pick up. You're going to have blowing snow. The wind will be ripping out of the north, and we could see some gusts hit 35 to 40 miles per hour after the snow is exiting. Look at this. The strong winds in our area really have not been a factor until we get into the evening. So if it's going to blow, the best chance will be between now and about, well, look at this. Here we're heading into the 3, 4 a.m. time frame, and western Minnesota to central Minnesota sees the winds pretty persistent out of the north. That means the plow drivers are going to be at work all night long just to try to keep the roads open. The wind calms down across the central Dakotas. All is calm, all is quiet, and then but then there's still plenty of shoveling to do first thing in the morning. So there's your wind question. Will it calm down around Perham in the morning? And the answer is here's 6 a.m. Here's Perham in Otter Tail County right here, and you are looking at some breezy conditions nonetheless. Will it be better than now? I do believe it will be, but it will be very cold. So as we take a look, this model here is showing that band of snow works its way through the region. As we go through the overnight hours, it does continue its way south at about midnight to 1. It's still snowing Duluth and the 35 corridor. And that's why we expect some heavier bands there. But that north flow, once it really switches north, that dry air is going to undercut this system and sweep out the snow chances as it dries out the region. So the wind continues all the way into mid-morning before it really starts to quiet down in Minnesota, and it will decrease from west to east. Now, that's a quick look at what's going on. So now we can go ahead and plot the next thing that we're looking for, and that's these temperatures. Take a look at these are wind chill values as we go through the night tonight from one model, but that's okay. We're going to just get an idea of the magnitude of the chill. Temperatures are going to be dropping down well below zero because they're already there. And with a 30-mile-per-hour wind, we're having 20 to 35 or 40 below wind chills across the region. Not a lot of new snow, if anything, really in Bottineau County, the Badette area, as well as Lake of the Woods County and Roseau County. But still, mighty cold overnight, wind chills to around 30 to 35 below in our neck of the woods. Clearing skies out to the west, and a nice little warming trend starts as we head towards the morning hours for you folks. But dangerous wind chill will be the story as we head to the overnight with continued blowing snow out there. Tornado? Okay, I did say tornado, and I cannot tease you without telling you what in the world is going on right now. Let's zoom out. Now, we're going to go to the radar view. Look at this. We got this 12-degree air here north of Des Moines, Iowa. That's otherwise known as Des Moines. As you go here, you got 60 to 70 degree air in Indianapolis to Louisville, Kentucky. On that boundary, there's a sharp cold front moving through, and we've had damaging tornado reports, and there are active tornado warnings as we speak. So let's get to those right now on this. So let's go on out here, and we're going to go to this, and we're going to take a look at the big picture. Here's the big picture. We have rain in southeast parts of Minnesota showing up on this. It's moving off to Green Bay, Milwaukee, and here's the cold front. We can find it right now. And along it, we got these pink boxes. That's not good. Those pink boxes are tornado warnings right now. We've got tornado reports, damage reports that have shown up across the region. We'll go over those later. But right now, we have active tornado warnings for these areas just south of Knox, just south of the Maryville area, south of Chicago, as it's moving into northwestern parts of Indiana from central Illinois. So here we go. Indiana, you got some problems up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at these tornado warnings. This is one tornado warning until 5:15 Central Time for the next 15 plus 8 minutes, 23 minutes or so, 63 mile per hour easterly motion of that storm. And there is a radar indicated tornado in that storm working its way off to the east. So that is a look at that storm. It's heading right over the interstate corridor here on I-65 between Walcott right now. So as we take a look at this fairly large tornado warning, we can get a little bit more information for you with single site radar data. So we'll switch over to that real quickly. That's a big county, right? That's a big tornado warning. Not tornadoes in every one of those box areas, but let's go ahead and pick a radar site here. Pardon me while my eyes are wandering, and I'm going to turn the sights on so I can pick the closest one here. Okay, so here we go. It might very well be the Chicago area with the closest one, but I would think that as we get into Indianapolis, that'll be pretty close too. It's kind of splitting the gap here. So let's go into Indianapolis, and this is what it's seeing here. We got a little bite taken out of the storm right by the Oxford area. There's some rotation potential there as well. As we take a look at the storm relative velocities, we're looking for the bright greens next to bright reds. There's a little couplet showing up pretty clearly right here north of Oxford, and then we do have some bright greens toward the radar in the Indianapolis area, and reds would be away. So that would be a different direction, which would be not impossible for a clockwise tornado, but it is possible. Now, moving up here, we've got an area of rotation that's fairly strong that's exiting this sliver of a tornado warning here, and it's working its way in towards the Francisville area and on towards the Monon area as well. So there is some shear along this boundary right here in particular, an area where we could have some pretty good shear going on with this particular storm. So dangerous storms caused by this clash of warm and cold air. I wasn't kidding. Nope, this is not a snow-nado though. That's a good question, and there might be a action-packed movie about snow-nados someday, but for now, no. I'm going to go up to the other radar. I'm going to show you a couple of storm reports up here. As we zoom in just a little bit, let me turn off some of this data on here. We got wind speeds all over the place. Now, as we go into the area, there have been some reports all along this highway here between Fairbury and Chadsworth out here of some significant damage from the storm. So here we go. A little bit hard to read, but power poles were down and a farm building and the roof torn off in Fairbury, Illinois, as the storm worked its way through there. And all along this path here, as it moved through the forest area, some pretty significant damage. Several trees and power poles down in the forest area. Time estimated by radar, that happened at about 10:37 a.m. So that was some time ago. And these storms are continuing to bring tornado warnings along the path. 1 to 2 miles west of forest, we have power poles down as well. And some damage reported to pole buildings and outbuildings and a roof torn off a shed as I was reading through these before our update here. Shed torn off its foundation, swing set twisted and demolished, multiple power poles down in Livingston County, Illinois. So a trail of damage from some tornadic and rotating storms that are now moving straight east, heading towards Rochester and Logansport. And there is a tornado watch for much of Indiana, including Indianapolis and down into western Kentucky as well, and areas just east of St. Louis. Severe thunderstorm warnings. So from blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings to tornado watches and tornado warnings, it's a heck of a day out across the Midwest and upper Midwest. Is it safe to leave Breckenridge? Christy, thank you for your question. The road conditions, there's no travel advised in the area of Breckenridge, Wahpeton actually has a no travel advisory on the North Dakota side. And I'll go ahead and answer your question by taking you to the map. If you don't have to travel, I would recommend staying off of the roads. We'll go to the Minnesota Road Report for the Breckenridge area. And as we zoom in just a little bit to the area that you're concerned about, I don't know where you're going. Power lines down in Fairview, Illinois, Fulton County this morning. BA, thank you for that. Yeah, there's some problems with all the wind and destruction going on there from the thunderstorms moving through. Okay, so as we get down here to the Wahpeton Breckenridge area, here's Breck. Now, it depends on where you're going. We've got blue, but you see all these little polka dots on there? Those tell me that the visibility is down to under a half of a mile. From Breckenridge to Foxholm and on into Fergus Falls. So keep that in mind if you're traveling out there. What does it look like? What do the roads look like? The best I can do in this particular area is see if I've got some snowplow cameras to go by. We'll jump in this snowplow right here. Okay, you tell me this doesn't look too good. Now, I don't even know how those snowplow drivers do it. I mean, I wouldn't know where to turn. Okay, so that's what things are looking like out there on the east side of you folks in Breckenridge heading into between Breckenridge and Fergus Falls. Here's what it looks like on the interstate. Now, as we take a look, let's see it. Well, that looks pretty dark indeed. Maybe the lens happens to be completely covered with snow at this time on that snow plow. Here's a look at Interstate 94 in and around the area of Dalton and Fergus Falls. So you can see there, it's pretty rough and tumble across the entire region. ZK Gaming 129 can't even see what's going on in front of the snowplow cam. That's right. It's crazy on some of these snowplow cams because I think they're getting mucked up by a bunch of snow on them. As we go down south, though, as you get into, say, Traverse and Wilkin counties, let's go to Campbell right here. Now, this snowplow we can see in front of here just a little bit, but look at the drifts that are going on. They're trying to knock these things out and keep the roads open for us so the morning will be better once this wind dies down. But there is enough wind out there, and you can see on this photo that the visibility isn't very far down the road in front of this snowplow. And again, if you're out there, there's plenty of plows, as you see here by their blue camera pictures. Things are pretty dicey and icy. Let's get down to BA territory out here. We're looking down here to areas in Ottawa as well as Le Sueur. Let's take a look at this. Numerous crashes out here. Northbound jackknife semi. Oh, no, that isn't good. And here we've got a snowplow in that exact area trying to keep things open. And you can certainly see reduced visibility and a very icy road surface. So, there's crashes aplenty out across the area where there's no travel advisories in southern Minnesota. This is now extending north very close to the I-94 corridor out here as we look in towards Litchfield. As we go up in toward this Paynesville area, we got a snowplow camera here. Let's go ahead and check that out. Partially covered roads is what they're reporting and plenty of drifting, but the visibility looks to be improving. So that's what's going on across the region right now. The radar is definitely showing that we have some very rough and tumble conditions across the region for the day today, and that makes things very difficult to get out and about. So it's best to stay home. Now we're starting to see a combination of blizzard warnings, and it looks like some cold air advisories and alerts being issued by the National Weather Service. So we have a winter weather advisory in purple, and then a blue cold weather advisory that'll take effect as we go into the late night hours overnight. But we're not done with the snow bands yet, from Fergus Falls and Pelican Rapids right into Hillsboro, Fargo, Moorhead, Lisbon, Sisseton, all the way in towards you folks in Morton and also Wahpeton, Breckenridge, and Valley City, still getting some snowfall out there. So I asked for your measurements. Let's see if we got any. I did hear that there were a couple of possible pictures uploaded, so let me take a peek and see if I've got any brand new pictures to talk about. Hey, we do. So thanks, Beth Ann. I appreciate that. That looks like a scene from Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate all of you uploading your photos of snowfall and snow measurements. So now, if you don't know, this is how you can take care of business by getting Hutch's brand new weather app. So pardon my eyeballs here while I just go ahead and get this all set up for us. Number one, head over to my website, hutchesweather.com. You can download the app right from there. Look for the app download button right at the top of the screen. And we can also get you information on what's going on right on the app. And you can upload your photos of you measuring snow. I want to see it, kids. Get out there and get a measurement for old Hutch. Argyle Dragon, thank thank you very much, says you just did it. So I'm assuming that means you did upload a photo. Dangerous Travel says Northern Grace, indeed. Where I was born in Chicago, there's a big difference between high and low today. It's crazy. Yeah, there are some crazy differences in temperatures right now going on. Oh, you downloaded the app. Thank you, Argyle Dragon, for doing that. I appreciate it. And any feedback or ideas you have, I would absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much. Brian Solberg, have to travel to Gackle. We talked about that. What does it look like when it calms down around Perham? When will that happen? Let's see. Roads are really bad in Grand Forks. Thank you very much for that report. That's indeed the case. The no travel advisory is not extended up into the Northern Valley, but it's certainly something to keep in mind. Let me see what's going on with my cellular device here. It's trying to connect so we can have a look at what's going on here, but it's not. So we'll worry about that later. All I wanted to let you know is that when you head over to hutchesweather.com or my app, you can upload the photos by looking for the photo upload button here, or scroll down the app just a little bit farther and you'll see the big photo section where you can click on and upload your photos. Here's your interactive radar. That's very helpful. You got your road conditions at your fingertips, and they'll be rapidly changing through the day and the night. First thing in the morning, check Hutch's Weather app. Check hutchesweather.com. Click on the road conditions button here and you're good to go. Now, when it comes to your viewer pictures, this is where Hutch likes to go, right here. And look at the beautiful scene we had yesterday and the day before. A lot of frost across the region making its way through. Gorgeous shots right here. This is a coneflower in the Fargo area. And look at that, Wendy. What a beautiful scene indeed. As that frost accumulated on one side, it iced up on one side. That was the windward side, facing the wind. And, well, fog droplets froze instantaneously on those spikes and made them bigger. And I saw a lot of pictures of that. And this is just stunning artwork here by Mother Nature. A frozen ice ball accumulating icing on the outside of it. And that's likely happening by water vapor depositing right on that ball of ice. Carol, thank you very, very much for that. And here is BA sharing with us what's going on in Glencoe, Minnesota, south central Minnesota. It's snowing and blowing, and at least the visibility is across the street and through the park, and that's a good sign. Hopefully this storm is on its way out across the region. And thanks to all who have ordered Hutch's merch out there on Hutch's website or the new app. Thank you very much. It's another way to support Hutch, and you get some fun swag to boot as well. So tornado warnings moving into Indiana, thunderstorm warnings and the like moving through southern parts of Illinois right now. And for us, we're not done. We got a measurement of snow north of the cities of 4 inches, Brainerd reporting 3 inches, Fargo reporting 4.5 inches, and the Grand Forks National Weather Service office reporting about 2 to 3 inches of snow earlier in the day. Oh, Bill, thank you for uploading. I do appreciate that. Thanks for all your stars. Let's see. Youssef Sharaf says, Noah's lying because the flood is actually not happening. Okay. I'm not sure what that's about. Let's move on. Dangerous travel out there. Thanks for downloading the app. And I like the privacy settings. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. A lot of thought has gone into these things. And if you have ideas, please share them with me. For now, that is a look at the winter weather event that's going on now. We do have no travel advisories through the region. That includes eastern parts of North Dakota, specifically southeast North Dakota. We've got our peak gusts that haven't quite gone to the levels that I expected or the models expected as we went through the day today. So keep that in mind, that even though it looks okay, it's still not okay. We're getting enough snow out here now. This is an update live. We have an extension of the no travel advisory through the eastern third of North Dakota, from the Canadian border all the way down to South Dakota for wind. And look at this, it goes all the way out to Stutzman County. And if you happen to be in Wishick and Napoleon, it's also in effect for your area as well. No travel advisory for the entire southeastern quadrant of North Dakota and the Red River Valley counties of northern and eastern North Dakota for tonight. So that's just updated by my friends at the Department of Transportation. You have access to this on Hutch's Weather app and hutchesweather.com. Not only North Dakota roads, just click one button and you're off in Minnesota. All of the purple roads you see here All of those highways, no travel is advised on any of those. If you see pink roads, that means those roads are completely covered with ice and or snow, and that encompasses most of the southern third of the state. Along the Interstate 94 corridor, we have blue, which means there's areas of slipperiness out there, and reduced visibility as well. When we are speaking of visibility, we can take you to a look. South Dakota roads, by the way, the eastern part of the state is getting some snow. There's going to be more moving into your area later tonight as per our hour-by-hour forecast that we just showed you. Here's a look at some visibilities across the region. Those have been reduced in areas to under 1/4 of a mile as we've gone through the event today. So here you go. As you take a look at these digits, I'll zoom in so you can read them a little bit better. Where there are red digits, that's a 1/4 mile or less. So we do have long-lived reduced visibilities, Fergus Falls, Wahpeton, Breckenridge, Britton, South Dakota, all the way out towards Morris. Look at Wilmer. That area has a 1/4 mile visibility. As we go down south toward the Redwood Falls and we get closer to that I-90 corridor there, that is definitely some reduced visibility as well. And in the area of heavier snow near Litchfield, near Hutchinson, we have visibilities around a mile or less in many of these locales. In the Twin Cities, 2 to 4 miles of visibility as a rule. And we get off into parts of Wisconsin where things are snowing and blowing. And look at this. Crystal Farms, points south, 1/4 mile visibility up there near the Apostle Islands. Visibility not too bad. They might be getting taken over by the dry air on the Apostle Islands. It says 10 miles of visibility for there and Ashland, but we get north of Wakefield and then we got back down to the 1/4 mile visibility, which is just unsafe for travel. So there's numerous areas of that. And we also have winter weather conditions in the form of ice, where you see the pink here. Utica, you got yourself some ice working its way through, and rain pushing its way through places like Rochester, Buffalo, and on towards Erie, that will be replaced by ice, cold air, and snow as this system works its way off to the east. So that's a look at your weather report. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate each and every one of you sharing this app. It really does help me get the news out there that the weather out there is, well, it's still pretty bad. And it's not blinding in every area, but you get out of town, it's deep, it's drifting. And if you don't have to go, then just stay put. Thanks for watching. I'll have forecast updates and updates as necessary throughout the evening hours. Your blizzard warning continues. The hour-by-hour forecast shows that snow will end from north to south as we head towards about the 10 to midnight hour. And then it's out of our area and it moves off to the south and to the east. And then the wind sticks around for the majority of the night in the Red River Valley, and we could see some areas in the Red River Valley and western Minnesota that have gusts over 40 miles per hour, and throughout central Minnesota, gusts to near 40 miles per hour will be possible into and through the overnight hours, even though the winds have underproduced in this particular system from expectations. It is a fact that they could still be quite strong even into the overnight hours. So cheers from Hutch's Shovel Trouble mug, and I'll be back with updates as necessary. Enjoy your football games. Enjoy the warmth and company of family and friends, and just stay put if you don't have to drive. But if you do, make sure you have that survival kit loaded with candles, matches, charged batteries, medications, some food, some water, and just give yourself extra time to arrive. And make sure if you must travel, you're telling someone what route you're taking. You're telling somebody when you expect to arrive, and you have a full tank of gas should you get stranded on the roadside. Thanks so much.
This has been a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Wait, you forgot the new app. You're right! Don't forget to download our new app. Thanks for watching Hutch's Weather.